Hey, what's going on, y'all? So I just wanted to make a video for USDJPY. I'm looking at kind of a similar situation as USDCHF in this, but we broke the 50 MA. We kind of hovered above it, consolidated, and then we dropped down below it again. At least that's what it looks like right now. There's something I wanted to point out here, though. Obviously, it's correlated with the USD-CHF pair, but we also have the monthly, and the month is coming to a close, so it's a good time to look at that. Right now, it's the 31st of July, so we actually have kind of like I want to say a small candle that's either consolidating or maybe reversing, and we're going to kind of see what happens at this point, right? Um, on the weekly, we see that it might be kind of favoring moving higher, and then on the daily, obviously we got like a double bottom here, and maybe a pullback on the way. Trying to time it is going to be kind of silly at this point. I think what's more interesting is actually picking up on the signals. So MACD divergence going on here, um, and obviously that uh, is going to show on the 4-hour chart as well. So we got higher highs, higher lows on the 4-hour chart. Obviously, we'll probably have that on the 1-hour chart. We don't really have anything that says strong pullback or entry type of criteria going on right now. We are kind of trending higher though, so that's something to pay attention to. We're going to be getting into this play. I don't really feel like all the stars are aligning, meaning that higher time frames and lower time frames are going to really give us a whole ton of momentum here. But I'm going to look for, out of the USD pairs, which one is actually going to allow me to kind of play, set a trap, and ride this higher. So we'll just have to be patient, look for the play. As in any situation, I'm going to have to try to weigh all the options, the three options we have here for USD, and pick the entry that's going to make the most sense. It does look like they're all correlated. The way I like to do that is I'll look at the daily. I'll look at the higher time frames to look for correlation, to be honest. That's what I prefer to do. So we see kind of a similar pattern on USD. And I'm just looking at these recent 4 or 5 bars, right? Kind of seeing the same pattern form on USD, CHF, JPY, and on CAD. So at this point, it's kind of more important that I actually pay attention to these type of things here. Look at this trend line on the daily for the CAD, and you notice that it's going higher. And then CHF, obviously, I've been talking about this play where we are actually slanted lower. So I want to look at that and take a really close look at that to try to see which one of these plays I want to take, which one's going to make sense as far as direction goes, if there's going to be a trend that's going to be started, a run, and try to kind of, play off of that. It's more important to pay attention to what you're seeing on the chart versus what you want to see versus what you think is going to happen. So actually paying closer attention, kind of run through this right now for y'all. We had a little breakdown situation here. It looks like let me see here. Overall, like throughout history, this is going back to 2017, we're relatively high as far as price goes. So I feel like the likelihood that we'll probably break down from here is higher. Um, we have these strong reversal bars on the daily. I don't know what the weekly or the monthly looks like. The monthly looks like we're coming off a really, really strong bearish engulfing, kind of continuing that small candle. Nothing really strong, nothing saying that it's continuing necessarily, but it's definitely not fighting it. Weekly's giving us some bearish momentum, looks like. Obviously, the daily's doing the same. It's bouncing off of this 50. And so what I really would have wanted to see here is a pullback to this trend line and then a bounce off of it, or a potential bounce off of it. We didn't really see that, and that's just the nature of what's going on here. As far as momentum in the short term, I don't really see it yet. I think I'm going to have to see a strong move before I'm actually able to jump in this. So it's not going to be like a play where I can establish a position and write it down and combo it down or whatever. This is probably going to be more of like a in and out type of situation. So just keep that in mind. USDCHF. Now looking at this after looking at USDCAD, this looks a lot less convincing. You see what I'm saying? Because we're coming off of this strong downtrend and we're trying to make higher highs, but we're not really bouncing hard off of anything. This is a daily chart, so let's compare apples to apples. If I go to the daily chart here, this looks like it's really rejecting that 50. Notice that this USDCHF isn't really necessarily going up and rejecting anything just yet. So this one's a little bit more developed, USDCAD. If I was going to take a trade off of this, if I was going to make a decision, then USDCAD actually is giving me more confluence in my decision-making process, okay? Even MACD divergence right here, you can see it. Just, it's right there, man. It's clear as day. So keep in mind those types of things. Obviously, CHF was something that I've been watching longer than CAD in this instance, but it's looking like USDCAD is actually a better play. It's a more developed play, more likely to go in the direction that I'm hoping that the trade will go in. It's just more mature. So just kind of keep that in mind. Hopefully this is a good benchmark for you to be able to kind of compare taking different positions and pros and cons and all that good stuff. All right, peace.